So I had an individual that came in and they wanted to sign up for jiu-jitsu. The only concern they had was they weren't sure if they were in shape enough. So they said they wanted to lose 5 pounds and get a little bit more fit, more cardio. That's when I realized there's a problem. No one should feel that way. Jiu-jitsu is supposed to improve your life. You shouldn't feel like you have to be physical in order to do jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a language. Trujitsu is the most fluent way of speaking that language. Jiu-jitsu is for everybody. Not everybody believes that anymore. That's where Trujitsu came in.
James, you have a very nice school here. It's not huge, but it's nice. Students were all great. Had a great time rolling today.
Thank you, Jake.
Do you wish you had a bigger school? Was that ever your goal?
You know, to me, it's not. It wasn't my goal. It would be nice to maybe have a bigger place, but I do remember some economic downturns. I've been open for 16 years in Orange County, and I believe I'm the second longest operating the same location in Orange. I think Clubber is probably first. He's 20 years. I just had my 16-year anniversary. And I remember what happened in 08 and 09. Mm-hmm. And all the schools lost 30%. I mean, I know a lot of people who were hurt in those days. And what are you going to do to your students who've been loyal? They lost their job. You can't train. You have to let them train. But at the same time, if you just moved into a bigger place, and I guess I'm the kind of guy that thinks about overhead and keeping it simple, mm-hmm. and keeping more money for other things, yeah, instead of rent. And I'm the sole instructor here. I do all the work here, and all my students, my black belts, are professionals, doctors, lawyer, law enforcement. So they're not here to help me on a regular basis. So it's good the way it is. Mm-hmm. It's good the way it is.
You know, circling back, talking about new techniques versus old school techniques, thinking about competition, a lot of guys think nostalgically back to the past, saying that jiu-jitsu was better before the double guard pulls and things that we see nowadays. But if you watch some of those old competitions, like in the 2000s, early 2000s, some of those were not very action-packed.
No, people who badmouth the game today, I think, are wrong. People who also say people stall. I mean, I spent so many hours at tournaments, from competing, watching. Most people are going, they want to tap the other guy, the way I see it. I don't see stalling. I mean, there might be some strategic stuff if you're up by 1 with 30 seconds left. I mean, you want to advance, it's a fact of life. You might stall a little bit. But I don't see it that way. I see people really going for it nowadays. And when you think about the new stuff, the double guard pull, they're all looking for more efficient ways to get to the back. And I appreciate that. And I think as long as they keep doing what they're doing, the Federation, where they speed things up, if both guys pull guard, if nobody moves, if they have that new rule now, if nobody moves, I guess, in 30 seconds, they stand them back up. Right. They're going to force them to work, and I appreciate that. And I like it. Some people don't like the advantages, scoring, the advantages for that IBJJ. I like it, because I think if they're used properly and not overused and done in a fair way, advantages are an important part of scoring. If you get tight matches, I mean, let's face it, at the black belt level, you get 2-0, 2-2. You need to be able to decipher in a very black and white way who won the match. Right. So yeah, I have no problem with the new game. I think is great. It's so much fun to watch the new guys, the new techniques, and I think it's important that people realize that they're not out there stalling. Not in my opinion. Right. Not in my opinion.
There's one guy we haven't talked about today, and that's your main teacher, Joe Morera.
Joe.
Our friend Joe.
Yeah, yes.
Can you tell me how you met him and how those early days were?
I met Joe in mid-90s, and I was training jiu-jitsu at Torrance, and a friend of mine who was down here met Joe through Ray Elson Gracie. And Ray Elson Gracie was down here PCH, and I believe he's a cousin. He's Rodrigo Gracie's dad. And he brought Joe here, and they had a falling out, and then Joe was just teaching out of a garage over here in Irvine, and my buddy says, hey, there's this new black belt, do you want to come and meet him? Joe didn't speak any English in those days, right off the boat, so to speak. And I really like Joe's style of teaching, the sequence training, not isolated techniques. He would show you sequences. He'd give you a nice GPS, a route to go, if this, then that, and that made a lot of sense to me, and it really helped me in my development. And to this day, I really appreciate Joe's style of teaching. Very open-minded to new technique. No matter who came to the door, oh, you're a black belt and whatever, come on in. What do you got? We'll show you what we got. Let's see, let the best technique win.
Who were some of your teammates at that time that we might know?
Let's see. Well, Roy Harris and I were teammates on Joe's at Joe's school. Rick Lucero, he's an old name from way back in the day. At Joe's school, who else that was still around? Well, Ed Benville, of course, John Bennis, Sergeant Luis Roman, Sergio Roman, and that's a long time ago, though. You put me on the spot. 20 years ago. It's hard to remember all the names, but yeah, I think about those days. I mean, it's a whole new world now as far as the jiu-jitsu is concerned, and my, physically how I feel, but the desire to train twice a day, every day, and you'd never lose an opportunity to put on the gi. Those were great days.
Last question for you,
Yes.
James. Thoughts on the future of jiu-jitsu? Do you think the art is on the right path?
Yes, I mean, you can't argue with the success it's had. I mean, look at the tournaments; they're blowing up. I personally think it's blowing up not just because it's a fad, but because I think for children, as far as confidence building and this whole thing about bullies. I mean, we've all been bullied in our life, and bullying is part of life. But to be able to stand up to those kinds of things in a confident way, I think jiu-jitsu is the best, because there's no punch. The kids can't get in trouble for using it. They don't punch people. They don't kick. They don't hurt. They just project the confidence, because after a week of jiu-jitsu, I had a little girl just the other day. Her dad came to me saying, oh my gosh, it's a new kid. She wants to go to school now. And because she had a bully, she mounted somebody and squished them. Didn't get in trouble, problem solved. So I think there's a reason the explosion. I think it will continue to gather steam. And look at the UFC. Just last weekend, there were a bunch of submissions. I mean, you can't go in there without knowing jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's probably the one thing you can't not know. If you suck the knowledge of jiu-jitsu out of John Jones's brain, Hoist could probably still tap him out, right?
Yeah.
So you have to know the jiu-jitsu. So there's a reason why it's so successful, and I think it will just continue. And who knows? I look at the last 10 or 15 years. There was the X-Guard phenomenon with Marcelo, and now the Bolos with the young guys over here in Costa Mesa. What will be the next thing? I was thinking about that the other day. What's going to be the next move that will have, like Della Riva guard, the Bolos? What will be the X-Guard? What will be the next? So I'm waiting to see.
Right.
And hopefully I'll still be here 16 years from now.
Right.
Still wondering. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, James.
Thank you, Jake, very much.
So, James, what techniques do you want to work on today?
Well, I want to work on something that is basic. Scissor leg defense, passing on the scissor leg. The high belts might think it's passé, but there are people with explosive scissor leg guard with strong legs and good timing. You could be posturing in a black belt's guard, he'll turn those hips and scissor leg sweep you and mount you at 6 points. So I want to go over some passes, how to beat that, and how to avoid giving away some points, getting some points yourself. And this is, really good for the lower belts to really understand this particular situation, because it happens a lot. Yeah, the collar sleeve grip, the big snake to the side, the big push. 6 points in competition, right? If he holds them out. So I got to do something about that. So my reaction time's a little slow. I feel the push right away. I'm going to base out for that moment. And my free hand's going to come in. My free hand's going to come in. That was a joke. Love you, Ed. And look, you can cup the knee. You can grab the material. But don't grab it up here. Don't grab it down here. At the joint, knee joint, okay? And the same sleeve he's holding, I'm going to hold, okay? And I'm going to turn my head away, pull up, and sprawl. Main thing is, this is my problem. So I really, when I sprawl, I want to try to get that foot below my hip when I sprawl. And now as I'm coming around, I'm going to lift his elbow up and across his face and donkey kick my elbow back and tiptoe across. Put me back in your guard, Jake. Jake can't move. Keep lifting, keep lifting. Come to my side mount control. 1, and now 2, 3 points. I call this the arm weave because I'm arm weaving my arm. Here. This is a good thing what Jake is doing right now. He's come up on his elbow, which could give him some advantage, and he could be throwing a monkey wrench into my technique right now. But I'm going to squish that like immediately. I'm not going to let him stay on his elbow. No way, no how. Okay? You can turn your head this way if you don't want to get your head pushed. But I must admit to you guys, I have done it like this with my head here, and there could be a risk for a choke, or it could be easy for him to push my head, so you got to be aware, right? But I must admit, I have used this for obvious reasons, like a battering ram to hold him down. And meanwhile, I'm sprawling, and I'm donkey kicking back, and I pass. Okay, so don't let your opponent come up on his elbow. Number 2, scenarios off this. 1, 2, again, Jake wants to come up. No way, baby. Here I come. So the only leg he has free is his top leg. And he's bringing that knee up to his chest to try to fill that gap so I can't side mount this knee. I still have control of his left leg. Quickly, I let go, and I come palm up. I pull it out of the way. I lift across his face. 3 points.
You say quickly because you don't want my bottom leg coming through?
Right. It's a quick pull, fill the gap. Because I'm leaving this leg unattended. And I don't want it to follow me. Exactly. I'm here. So this is a quick, okay, because I'm relieving the one leg behind. If I do it quick, I should be okay. Number 3 off this scenario. Once again, he's opened his legs. Here comes the big scissor leg. I base. I grab. No way I'm going to let him come up on his elbow. And I start coming around. And here I come. And Jake is really using that top leg, his right leg, in a very nice way. And I feel like, if I let go of this and try to come here, yeah, that's what's going to happen. He's too fast. I sense that from him. So I'm going to keep this lifting, and I'm going to put all my weight on my front foot, donkey kick my back leg, and put my knee down right between his legs. Next, I drop my other knee in front of his chest, still controlling his arm. And now, I mount. 3 plus 4. So once again, my arm weave. No way. Not up on the elbow. Here I come. He's blocking. He's tenacious. Kick my leg right up close, like a staple. Chest. And he really might not really understand what's going on yet until this happens. Now here I am. Kind of confusing. 1, 2, 3. One more. Yep, last one. Number 4. Actually, this should be number 3. I'm coming. Here I come. Jake utilizes his right hand to push my head. And so now, instead of filling the gap here, I go up on my toes and get a little levitation, and I'm floating past to the other side. Still have my grips, because I'm going to pull him towards me with both hands. And I'm going to walk my body back. Still have my grip. Can you roll away, Jake? Yeah, you see, it's hard for him. As I'm transitioning to the side and I keep walking around, I'm going to let go here and lift this up. Get my arm deep on the ground. Reach around his head. Here. And lift. And choke. On the pass. Lift and choke on the pass. Time. Shh. Boom. Yeah. Don't let him come up on his elbow, guys. He'll beat you if you do. I come around. Yeah. Jump. Pull. Scoop. Stack. Choke. Number 4. Scissor leg pass from the arm weave.
Very nice techniques. And you're right, a lot of people kind of forget about the scissor sweep after.
We got some black belts in here where their timing is so good, they'll open those legs. If you're just basing up, posturing up just at the right moment, they'll do it. So, and let's face it, the white and the blue belts, they're going to be doing that all day long.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing today.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys for sticking through to the end of the show. Just a couple things I want to let you know. First, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. And finally, if you haven't gotten the new app in the App Store, and as long as you have a Mac product, an iPad or an iPhone, it'll work just fine. It's the best way to get all of our content and be notified of sales exclusive to the app. Other people won't know about it. Also, there is some exclusive content, including a free technique from James Boran. James was watching me roll, and he had some advice, and he showed me a really slick way of countering a Kimura defense. You can check that out on the app for free. All you need to do is go to the App Store and download it. The link will be below, so click that out and enjoy. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in BJJ.